Hey, what's up guys? This is Sun, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a throwback and telling you guys kind of how I got into trick shotting and whatnot. It's kind of a really lengthy story, to be honest. I started trick shotting in, I think it was late 2010. Late 2010. People argue like, oh, well, really, I started trick shotting in 2009. Well, you didn't start trick shotting if you were in private match, doing spins and whatnot. Some people, the people that really started like off at the beginning were late 2010. Everyone who says they started in 2009 kind of just says that, but you were just going for no scopes or ground 360s. I don't really count that as trick shotting. Basically, if you guys don't know, at this point in time, I know Swan, Swannies, Hawk, and Jackson all in real life. It's honestly really cool because I feel like I have something that a lot of people on who play this don't have. I know a lot of people firsthand in like real life that play this. I can relate to them with things in like real life. It's not about like, I shouldn't say that. We can talk about it in real life. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of nice having someone you can like talk about this kind of stuff with in like real life, other than just always doing it over the mic and like hiding it like at school and stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying like I talk about it mad school or something. You know what I mean though. Just like having someone that you can relate to this with, all this stuff. So, basically what happened was I knew Swan and Swannies way before, like I knew them before I had my Xbox and they had their Xbox. And basically what happened is when I went to high school, well, I knew them both when they were in middle school. And if you guys don't know, Swan is younger than Swannies. I don't know why this is a. I'm the same age as Swannies, and I'm really good friends with both. I'm pretty good friends with all of the people I know in real life, but I was good friends with probably Tucker first, and it's kind of a weird story. I got on Swan's baseball team, I think, when I was, a 7th grader. And I became friends with him, and then I was friends with both of them. I'd go over to their house, we'd hang out and stuff. They started that me and this other kid that we used to play game battles with, we were playing Xbox, so Tucker and Casey, Swannies, and Swan wanted to get an Xbox. And at this point, I haven't even met Jackson. I didn't meet Jackson, I didn't meet Kiwi. I knew who Kiwi was because of like the summer camp thing, but that's another story. So yeah. Then they got their Xbox. I helped them set them up. We just were randoms. We got into game battles, me and Tucker, Swannies, and we played game battles for probably about a year and a half. When we got into high school, we met Kiwi. I stopped playing game battles, and probably around 8th grade, I met Jackson online. So from this kid that went to my school that knew Jackson at a neighboring school. It's honestly ridiculous how I met Jackson. Like, I honestly don't get how it's so random how I met him. But like, I wouldn't even be able to, I'd have to have a video explaining like how I met Jackson. Like, it's a long story. But so I met him in around 8th grade. We played a lot online. I never met him online in real life at that point. Then we got into high school, and I was still GB. I was GB all until high school when I met Kiwi or Hawks. And what he was doing was he'd come over to Tucker's house, and I'd be watching. I never was at his house at Swannie's house with him, but I remember Tucker would be like, "Yo, dude, this kid came over to my house last night, and like, look at my file share, like we saved all of his clips." And like Casey Swan was like, "Holy shit, dude, like this kid, look at all these like no scopes he's doing." And he'd be like on like the grid ladder, and he'd be doing like drop back no scopes off it, drop back no scopes, like back to back, and like hitting them. And it was like, I thought it was like insane, and I was like, dude, this guy's pretty cool. And then I started talking to him more and stuff, and I became really good friends with him, and I'm really good friends with him now. And and so basically then he was like starting to talk about like what Dare and Phase was, and I was like, what the fuck, like what is this? Like, I remember doing this stuff in private match, but they do this stuff in like online, and they're doing like better stuff online than I was doing in private match. So I thought it was like crazy. So basically sorry about that. I got into trick shotting. I stopped playing game battles. At this time, Jackson and me and Swan, they all started playing. Swan and Swanee had the same TV at this point. It wasn't until like 2 years later or like a year and a half that they got their own TVs. But yep, I think it was when he was in SOAR that he got his own TV, something like that. So basically, I'm sorry, it's a really hard thing to remember sometimes. I'm trying to remember where I was. So yeah, I was starting to trick shot. Jackson, Hawk, Tucker was still game battles. He never trick shotted, and he didn't know any. He didn't really know. He knew what sniping. He knew we were like all into D treats and all that stuff, but he never himself was a sniper. So then what happened was he kept playing game battles. I trick shotted. I got really sick of trick shotting after about a year, or after about half a year. I said like I don't want to do this. I want to go back to game battles. After about another half a year of that, I went back to trick shotting. At this point, Swan was in this team called Vibe. Kiwi would play off and on. He was trying to get into this team called Text, which was like a really long time ago. It was like, and stuff like that. And Jackson was just off on his own doing COD 4 1v1s like a fucking nerd. And at this point, I started trick shotting again. I didn't like game battles. I wasn't good at it. I realized I wasn't good at it, and so I started trick shotting again. I was like, what the fuck, whatever. So Swan was in this team called Vibe, and from there on, they ended. So he went to this clan called T1, which was basically made from the leaders of the beginning, or the first generation Toon, which a lot of you guys might think the first generation Toon was the one that had the promo on SOAR, but you're actually wrong. So many good players came from that team. Like I'm talking about Mackie, SOAR Mackie, not Mackin, but SOAR Mackie, Nick Mo, a lot of like old Dare people that were like pretty close to getting into like FaZe and SOAR and stuff. I mean, like a lot of OG, like really good people, and a lot of people that like, a lot of like people that have been around it like would know their names if you said them, because they were like really good back in the day and whatnot. So basically what happened then was Swan just kept progressing. He kept going into these teams, and while he was doing that, we were kind of all, and Hawk was with him up until he was in T1 with him. But then I think Hawk just like wasn't wanting to play as much. He kind of took a break. And then when he got into this team called Auto, because they merged with Auto, Swan took off in Auto. At this time, Tucker's still playing game battles. Me and Jackson are trying to get in this team called Text, and then Kiwi gets into Text, and then we get into Text. Casey around this time, he has his own shit now, his own TV. He gets his monitor, and he joins SOAR. So he's in SOAR. We're all in Text. Me, Hawk, Jackson. Tucker's still playing game battles. Probably a while again, and then Hawk, I think, quit. Jackson and me were still playing, but Jackson always had his I don't give a shit attitude towards everything. And around this time was, I think, when Tucker started coming to try sniping. He wanted to try sniping. He saw the growth in it, and he wanted to try doing it. And it was also around this time when Swan joined FaZe. And I honestly, at this time, like, I know if you're watching this, dude, like, I'm actually, like, so proud of, like, everything you've done and shit. Like, that's honestly crazy. Like, I know someone in real life that's made it, like, that far into something like this. Like, the odds of knowing someone, like, that's gonna make it that far in something is, like, honestly ridiculous. Like, I can't believe it sometimes. But, yeah, you know, Swan joined FaZe. I couldn't believe it at the time. I sometimes still can't believe it. And, I was still stuck in Text. I didn't really enjoy it at this time. I met a lot of really cool people in Text. Text is probably like what made it trick shotting like really fun for me, because that was during Clash of the Clans. If you don't know what that was, I'm not gonna give you a lecture on what it is, because that'd take a really long time, and I'm trying to make this as short as I can. So then we're all in Text. Hawk's still not playing. Tucker started sniping off and on, sniping GB. I would every now and then join him in GB. We're still all really good friends. It's not like It's not like we're all, and it was also around this time where we met Jackson in real life for like the first time. We thought it was like the funniest thing because it was just so weird. Like we live so close to this kid, and we've like never fucking like we play with him every day on Xbox, and we like never have talked to him like in real life. That's like the weirdest thing ever. So we finally met him one day, and it wasn't even awkward. Like honestly, we talked on Xbox so much that it wasn't even awkward. Like I thought it would be kind of awkward, but it wasn't. And also, so then yeah, I was still in text. This time, me and Jackson were just kind of like, Jackson was a co-leader of text, and Jackson got in before me, and he actually had a really big part of me getting in text, so I forgot to thank him for that. But yeah, that was a big reason why I got into text, was because of him. He kind of vouched for me. So, and honestly, looking back now, like I would never brag about being in text. I honestly wouldn't mention being in text. They did a lot of stupid things at the end of BO2 that I just wouldn't want to be my name to be associated with. The fact that I like actually wanted to help that team out a lot back in the day, it kind of soils it knowing that they were trying to do stuff like that. And so at the end, like when BO2 came out, that was when Swannies decided, hey, I want to snipe on this game. I don't really want to do GB anymore because a lot of the people he was playing GB with weren't playing anymore. It wasn't as fun for him because he wasn't as like, Tucker wasn't the kind of person that wanted to like just play with random people that he didn't know. I mean, sure, he had like his like group of like different games, like he had his COD 4 like group of kids, his MW2 group of kids, but like he got to know those kids pretty well. It wasn't like he would just go on forum pages, new team, new team, new team, new. Like, he wouldn't do that much, and he didn't really enjoy it when he did. So I think he just kind of got sick of the fact that his teammates that he used to team a lot with like weren't playing. I mean, I wasn't that good, but I honestly wasn't playing a lot then. I was really into trick shotting, and when BO2 came out, that's probably one of my worst games, by the way. BO2 was like my worst game by far, but yeah, BO2 came out and. Tucker wanted to snipe on that. Casey honestly didn't hit a shot on that game for the first like month and a half, and then he hit a trick shot collateral to end that like search and destroy montage that FaZe had. He had the closer, and that was like the first clip that he hit on the game. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, at this time, it was around that time when he hit that clip that to be honest, I got kicked from text. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, I left text when I did get kicked, but I honestly was just waiting to get kicked. It wasn't like a thing where I was trying my hardest to get like episode clips at this time. I wasn't like, it was at the end of MW2, and I just wasn't doing the kind of clips that people were doing. I helped out text a lot at like the beginning. I was like posting like a lot of episodes at the beginning. But like towards the end, like the standards just got crazy on that game, and I just wasn't putting in the time. Like I honestly wasn't as devoted as some players were, and I couldn't put in the time to get as good as a lot of them were. So what I did is I just kind of didn't play. I'd play like other games that were just me having fun, and eventually I just got kicked. And I said, really, I don't really care anymore because I didn't really like being in text anymore because the kids that I was playing with were not like my favorite people to play with anymore. They weren't like the kids that I liked in text anymore. People that I did like in text, if you're watching this, Tension, Crux, Script. Like, obviously, I forgot to mention this too. I met Rush. In text, and then he's a big part of when at the beginning of BO2. But I'll talk about that later. So yeah, we're all here at the end of text basically. Jackson just was really inactive. I think he got kicked. I'm not sure. I think he left actually. I'm pretty sure he left, and he just said, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not gonna do anything. But I'm honestly not sure on that if he got kicked or got left. And you really shouldn't care either way, so it doesn't matter. But all you should know is that at this time, Hawk wanted to come back. New game. Me, Jackson, Hawk, all solo. Tucker's sniping. So this is really the first time that all four of us, obviously without Casey, he's in FaZe doing his own like thing, but all four of us were completely like solo, and we were all doing the same thing. And I think honestly, like I never looked at it this way, but I think this is why Torq was made. I think we would have done this a really long time ago if we weren't all in teams and like or else doing something else like GB. And so about halfway through BO2, after playing solo for a little bit, we kind of made this like we were just kind of joking around a lobby, like thinking of names and stuff for teams. We're like, yeah, let's make our. I think it was, I don't know who it was. I think it might have been like Poe or something. He's another kid I met in text. I forgot to mention his name, Poe too. Really good friend that I met in text. He's still my friend right now. He doesn't really play that much anymore, so that kind of sucks. But no one really misses his sarcasm, so that's that. So yeah, I think Poe came up with the name Torq, and we just kind of went with it. We're like, yeah, T-O-R-K. That looks pretty good on the tag and everything. Jackson changed it immediately. He like kind of honestly set the tone for everyone because we all were like, oh, you really want to do this? He's like, yeah, I mean, aren't we doing this? And I was like, I mean, sure. I mean, like, let's try it. So we gave it a run, and that's when we were really looking for players, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I know this Rush kid is good, so I'm just gonna join his. I literally joined his session and just straight up asked him, dude, do you want to join Torq? Like, we really need players, and I think you're really good. And he was just like, yeah, I'd like nothing more than that. And so he joined, and we got some other people. We got a lot of good snipers. And basically, this is when Rush just went off. We called him when he left to join SOAR, which a lot of you probably know happened because he was so fucking good at the game. When he left for SOAR, we actually made a joke kind of that someone would have to fill the Rush gap because literally, guys, Rush was posting episodes probably once every week and a half. I mean, it was honestly like part of our daily uploading. Like, I mean, it was like a big chunk of our like total uploads at that time. Like, it was feel the rush like every other week, and that really kind of hurt us because we were running on a really low roster at that point, and he was helping us tremendously. And I'm so glad that he got in SOAR because I've honestly never seen someone work his ass off so much for SOAR. He had to prove himself. You know, he wasn't going to leave for any other team. He already said that. He said, nope, I want to leave for SOAR. That's my goal. And I loved that so much about that kid because, like, honestly, you don't see people like that nowadays. I would have honestly expected many other people to go, well, I'm going to join Dare and then I'm going to try to join SOAR. But he wanted to stick with Torq because he had fun in Torq and he was hitting more clips and he was having fun. And that's how you should think about everything in trick shotting. You should think about having fun because when you're having fun, you're hitting clips. And when you're hitting clips, you're having fun. So that's the way I think about things. Obviously, if you're not happy somewhere, you can't stay, but just try to have fun. That's all you can do. Sometimes I have troubles doing that. I get fucking pissed, but that's besides that. So yeah, Rush got in SOAR. Torq has been, you know, going well. Swan's still in phase, doing really successful with his channel. And I honestly have to like look back, and it's just like crazy. You know, we all started with like literally nothing. And you know, like I'm not gonna say like, well, where I am today. Like, I'm still a nobody. Like, I'm honestly, like, I'll be honest. Like, people know me because I know like a lot of people in real life and whatnot. Who gives a fucking shit? Like, I still suck ass, but that's not the way. I like to look at like the things that I've done, and I like to look at the fact that we all kind of did this together. It was like kind of like an adventure almost. Like, we all kind of, like me, Hawk, Jackson, Tucker, Casey, we all did this together. It was kind of like like a lot of people say like, well, I started trick shotting here, and I'm like, well, did you do it with any friends? Like I had 5 friends like that I did this with. Like, I thought it was like really cool and stuff. Like, compared to a lot of other people, they're sitting there like doing it by themselves, and I'm sitting here with like 5 friends, like just experiencing this Xbox thing all together, and I can like go over to their house. We can like talk about it like just freely, not like intense conversations, but just kind of like freely. It's kind of cool. Like, you have someone to talk about it with. So yeah, that's how that's kind of like how I got started and everything on Xbox. I know this is a really long video, but I hope that people that actually somewhat care about this and somewhat care about like Because I know people are like, oh, like I'll get in a game with people and they'll be like, oh yeah, you know Swan in real life, don't you? I'll be like, yeah, and that's always the first person they ask. And on this closing statement, I have to say that Swannies is older than Swan. I don't know why everyone always thinks that. I'm the same age as Swannies, Hawk, and Jackson, and Casey's a sophomore, and we're all seniors. So he's 2 years he's actually 2 years younger. He's like one of the youngest people in FaZe. But that's that, guys. That's my story of how I got started on Xbox. I honestly couldn't ask for anything better. The people that I've been talking about this whole time in this video have made my time on this shit like so much more like important to me, and I honestly couldn't like ask anything more. Like, it's just amazing. I'm not really having fun anymore playing COD, so I've been playing like other things, but I'm still trying to play it. It's just honestly like I don't see COD anymore like rising up. I remember, what I try to remember is the good times that I had on COD, and I'm just trying to like trying to bring that back, but it's not happening. It's not as good. It's just not as good. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and comment would be nice. And if you want to see more videos like this with me just talking about shit, I guess tell me that. With that being said, we'll see you guys later.